Warrandyte Community Facilities Review provides more questions than answers. By Sandi Miller. Over the past 18 months, Manningham Council has undertaken a community facilities review for Warrandyte in an effort to identify ways to best utilise the community's spaces. As a result of the review, a number of key infrastructure projects around Warrandyte have been delayed, which is frustrating many in the community. The Warrandyte Community Facilities Review 2025 is now available to view on Council's Your Say website, with a chance for the community to provide feedback. The report notes that Council prioritises public places, spaces and programs
to ensure they are accessible, well-maintained and well-used, ensuring community facilities are multi-purpose and support intergenerational use and connections, and upgrading and consolidating facilities, including creating community hubs in well-connected locations.
Mayor of Manningham Jim Grievous told the Diary,
"The review has been undertaken to identify opportunities for land owned by Council. It has been a complex and detailed needs analysis, which has taken some time as we have consulted widely with more than 30 community groups who use these spaces."
What Warrandyte has. The review assessed existing council-owned community facilities and services across Warrandyte and Warrandyte South, and looked to find opportunities for Council to consolidate these community resources through co-location and relocation, while maximising use by groups and services across fewer sites, as the report notes many of the sites and facilities are underutilised. Councillor Grievous said,
"The review has been about identifying opportunities for our community infrastructure. We will not be developing a master plan. Rather, we will now explore each of the identified opportunities separately in consultation with the community."
There are a number of council-managed facilities across the Greater Warrandyte area. Early years: Warrandyte Kindergarten, Warrandyte Childcare and Preschool. Public halls: Warrandyte Community Hall, Warrandyte Scout Hall, Warrandyte South Hall. Community spaces: Warrandyte Community Centre, Warrandyte Museum. Sporting facilities: Warrandyte Reserve, Warrandyte Tennis Club, South Warrandyte Tennis Annex, Coleman Park Sports Oval and Pavilion, Wyena Horse and Pony Club, Warrandyte Sports Centre. Consolidation: with some assets deemed too old or not accessible and others deemed as being too remote, the report suggests moving some groups out of their existing buildings and into a new location that can address Council's inclusivity, accessibility and usage issues. One example Council considered is a new community hub at Warrandyte Reserve, which could replace the Warrandyte Kinder and the Community Hall, or renovation to the existing community hall to accommodate new users. The report proposes moving the Scouts and the Historical Society out of their existing historic buildings due to a lack of compliance with the Disability Discrimination Act and the difficulties posed by the land subject to inundation overlay. The Diary asked Council what the fate of these historic landmarks would be if the groups were moved to other spaces. Councillor Grievous said while there are no immediate plans to move these groups out of the existing facilities, there is still a lot of work to do to determine the future of the buildings
to maximise the best use of our facilities.
He said Council's immediate priorities will be to undertake a feasibility study into the potential expansion and upgrade of the Warrandyte Community Hall, and to advocate to the state government to relocate the Warrandyte Kindergarten to a new facility at one of the 2 local primary schools. He said the $100,000 feasibility study will look at possibilities at the community hall to allow for storage and activity needs for the men's shed and Scouts, alongside the existing users, including the senior citizens. This is instead of a large-scale community hub, which Council says is not cost-effective given Warrandyte's relatively small population of 6,000. Playing early years Tetris. Council is also keen on co-locating Warrandyte Kinder with one of the primary schools, as per the Victorian Government's Best Start, Best Life reforms. These reforms require a progressive increase in the number of funded kindergarten hours over the next decade. Under the reform, funded kindergarten services will be required to provide 15 hours of 3-year-old kindergarten per week from 2029 and 30 hours of 4-year-old kindergarten from 2034. Alongside the Warrandyte Facilities Review, Council has released an early years infrastructure plan, which was endorsed at its November Council meeting. Under this plan, Council will advocate for the state government to move Warrandyte Kinder to either Warrandyte or Andersons Creek Primary School. This would potentially free up space at the reserve to move the Warrandyte Childcare and Preschool from its current location at Masonic Avenue to Taroona Avenue and be co-located in a new building along with the toy library. The questions raised by this option are multiple and include whether the state government would be willing to fund up to $4 million for a kindergarten building on the school grounds, and indeed, if the kinder were to be located on one of the schools, whether this would be detrimental to the other of our primary schools' prep intake, as the kinder would be a natural feeder to the host school. When the diary put this to Council, Councillor Griver said these questions are for the state government to determine as
it is their decision how to accommodate changes due to the Best Start, Best Life Kinder program.
Failing the state government funding, another option the review considers is to renovate the existing kindergarten buildings to accommodate the Best Start, Best Life program and continue to maintain the Masonic Avenue facility. What are the options? The review has suggested the following options be explored. Opportunity 1. Warrandyte Community Hall. Refurbish and expand Warrandyte Community Hall, Warrandyte Reserve, to accommodate increased use, such as Scouts and Men's Shed. Undertake feasibility, site and concept planning for the proposed refurbishment and expansion of the hall in collaboration with existing users of the Community Hall, the Scout Hall and Warrandyte Reserve. Work with Warrandyte Toy Library to understand their future needs and investigate alternatives to accommodate their needs. Determine the future of the existing Scout Hall in collaboration with key stakeholders, pending the ability to relocate the Warrandyte Scout Group and Men's Shed to an alternate location. Opportunity 2. Early Years Facilities. Advocate and partner with the state government to relocate Warrandyte Kindergarten to one of the primary schools in Warrandyte. Relocate Warrandyte Childcare and Preschool to a new building on the Warrandyte Kindergarten site, subject to relocation of the kindergarten to one of the primary schools and pending Council's support for childcare services in Warrandyte. Alternate direction if relocation of kindergarten to a primary school site cannot be achieved. Develop a 2-room kindergarten on the current Warrandyte kindergarten site. This will require a kindergarten to be temporarily relocated while the site is redeveloped. Continue to maintain and upgrade Warrandyte Childcare and Preschool and explore partnering opportunities with private or not-for-profit organisations to address infrastructure and service needs. Opportunity 3. Warrandyte Community Centre. Explore opportunities for Warrandyte Community Centre to accommodate additional uses such as the Toy Library, youth programs and the Warrandyte Historical Museum. Address building functionality issues including provide a rubbish bin enclosure, improve accessibility and safety around the outside of the building, including the car park and along Mitchell Avenue side of the building. Improve wayfinding both outside and inside the building. Implement a more coordinated approach to operating and managing the community centre to encourage cooperation between tenants and users, facilitate increased use of the centre, and provide clear communication pathways for raising and addressing issues. Opportunity 4. Sporting facilities in Warrandyte Reserve. Explore opportunities to increase the use of the Warrandyte Sports Club Pavilion, particularly on weekdays during the day, by reviewing existing lease arrangements in collaboration with user groups. progressively improve sporting facilities in accordance with council policy and capital works program, including pavilions, storage areas, outdoor shelter and access to public toilets in consultation with sporting groups. Opportunity 5. Warrandyte Historical Museum. Explore options for addressing the long-term needs of Warrandyte Historical Museum, including retaining the historical museum in its current location and addressing functionality deficits, for example, storage, workspace and toilet facilities. Relocating the historical museum to other premises, for example, Warrandyte Community Centre, pending further investigation. Opportunity 6. Coleman Park. Undertake further planning to explore options and alternatives for Coleman Park, including the tennis facilities, the main pavilion, sports ground and horse and pony grounds. Explore opportunities to increase the use of the Coleman Park pavilions by reviewing existing lease arrangements in collaboration with user groups. Assess functionality issues with the main pavilion and associated sports ground to determine possible capital works initiatives consistent with Council's existing policies and standards for investment in community facilities and sporting infrastructure. What is ruled out? The review is not committing to any of the options for immediate action, but has determined a number of proposals the community has been calling for over many years are not feasible. This includes the purchase of either the old Warrandyte Cafe on the corner of Police Street for use as an early years hub, or the old petrol station at 44 Yarra Street for use by the Scouts and or men's shed. It has also ruled out ideas such as using either the ground floor of the Warrandyte Tennis Club or the former police house for a men's shed. It has also labelled the upgrade of the Warrandyte Scout Hall, the Taroona Avenue Kinder and the Masonic Avenue Childcare and Preschool as not preferred. Community concerns. One of Council's preferred options for the men's shed is to move it to Coleman Reserve or the South Warrandyte Hall. A spokesperson for the Warrandyte Men's Shed has told the Diary that moving to South Warrandyte would not be in the best interest of the men's shed, as transport issues and isolation of the sites would deter members from attending. Councillor Grievous said Council acknowledges that access to Warrandyte South is more challenging and has a higher reliance on private transport.
Access would need to be considered as part of the further exploration of these options, in consultation with user groups. We continue to advocate to the state government for improvements to Manning and bus services, and we are pleased that as a result of council and community advocacy, an upgrade to the Five Ways intersection is now being planned.
He said, "The Diary has questioned Council about it wanting to consolidate such a broad range of community groups into either an expanded Warrandyte Hall or the community centre, and suggested having groups trying to timeshare these spaces could compound the problem, similar to the issue faced by Warrandyte Basketball Association with regards to access to appropriate facilities, such as Mullum Stadium, as everyone wants the space at the same time." Councillor Grievous said they were exploring synergies with complementary groups, sharing the space. For example, the senior citizens would have the most use of the hall during the day, and the Scouts would use it in the evenings.
We have and will continue to work closely with the user groups to understand their needs.
He also suggested that there could be some dedicated storage and meeting rooms for groups within the buildings, with shared facilities such as kitchens and toilets. Although there is sufficient space to develop a large-scale community hub at Warrandyte Reserve, Council determined it was not their preferred option due to concerns about per capita cost, as well as traffic management and parking, and not being able to meet the needs of the Scouts and men's shed. The Scouts have been vocal about the lack of maintenance of their building and are strongly opposed to moving. See letter page 21. A spokesperson for the Warrandyte Scouts has said that without bespoke facilities in a central Warrandyte location, close to the river and market, and the ability to have control of its own space, the club would struggle to survive. While time is of the essence for many of these groups who have been waiting for years for action on urgent upgrades to existing facilities, or just for finding a space for them, Council says there is still much consultation to undertake before any progress is made on works for these facilities. What do you think? While the community is encouraged to read the review, Council has a short window for feedback, which will close on December 18. Visit yoursay.manningham.vic.gov.au/Warrandyte-community-facilities-review to read the review and have your say. The affected users of the existing facilities will be consulted further as the opportunities are further explored. The diary wants to know what readers think of Manningham Council's facilities review. Are Council's conclusions in fitting with what we want our community to be in the coming years, or have they missed the mark? Send your thoughts to editor@warrandytediary.com.au. This article was read by Rebecca Rose,
Adrian Rice,
Hazel Rice.